Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and joining me today is Shomik Chakrabarti and Bharat Ramraj. Soon, Rohit Juglan and Shubhayan Chakrabarti will also join us. But one day after the press conference, it took 3 hours for us to get to that press conference. It was a long wait, but I don't know if it was a fruitful one or not because we are still left with a few questions. We thought we would get some answers, but we are still left with a few questions. I will start with Shomik because Shomik has quite a lot to tell us. There's been some leaks once again. Once again, there are reports about the captain coach not being on the same page and all of that, which is not so heartening to hear. But at the same time, Shomik, tell us what it is.
Uh, First of all, the delay, Gagi, yeah, you mentioned about that 3 hour delay, and it sort of took me back to 2001, right? I mean, I have never been to a selection press conference that started on time, but even by that standards, it was unusual, the delay. I remember I covered a selection committee meeting in Kochi in 2001 too. Niranjan Shah was the secretary, and 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. in the evening was the press conference scheduled, and eventually it started at 10 p.m. at 10 o'clock. I have a I have experience of covering a press conference at 11:30 at 11:30 p.m. also. Jagmohan Dalmia calling a press conference during Crony again, but that apart, coming back to the leagues, this is as I said yesterday also, and I wrote about this. This is leaky glum time in Indian cricket, and today once again. Yesterday I didn't read about any leaks. So I said okay, all is under the bridge. It's sort of there is no further leak. Now this morning I bumped onto another report saying that the coach Gautam Gambhir and captain Rohit Sharma differed on a couple of selection issues. The report claimed that Gautam Gambhir wanted Sanju Samson in the side, but Rohit Sharma put his foot down. He said, "Nothing doing. We'll go with KL Rahul and Rishabh Pant." And in turn, Gautam Gambhir exacted his pound of flesh by including Harshit Rana in the side. So it's 1-all. I mean, the leaks are coming thick and fast. It has been a proliferation of leaks. It will continue until cricket starts and India starts winning a few matches.
Those are some interesting things to hear. Shubha, and I'll go to you on this because you weren't here. Shubha also joins us. But Shomik was talking about, that the captain and the coach not being on the same page again. At least that's what we're hearing from the leaks once again. That there were some, there were some arguments about the players being selected and all of that, people having their way, some not having their way. But what are your thoughts about everything that's been happening in Indian cricket, especially now that the whole chaos that was the press conference, 3 hour delay, quite a lot of, I'm sure, a lot of agreements, disagreements going on there. But your thoughts overall after the
We,
leaks?
we we discussed it in our Hindi live last evening. The major disagreement or the point of topic yesterday during that 2.5 hour delay was on vice captaincy. Who should be the vice captain? And there were two names, Hardik Pandya and Shubman Gill, which were discussed. Gautam Gambhir wanted Hardik Pandya as the vice captain of the team, as was the case during the 2023 ODI World Cup before Hardik got injured. And Rohit Sharma and Chief Selector Ajit Agarkar wanted Shubman Gill to take forward the baton. So, and since Shubman was the vice captain in the Sri Lanka white ball series earlier during the in the 2024 year, they stuck with Shubman Gill, but there was a huge debate on that. Ravindra Jadeja's position was also discussed, whether they need two left arm spinners in that scheme of things in the entire Champions Trophy. But since Jadeja has that experience, he have once again got the nod for to be in that Champions Trophy squad. But yes, clearly, I mean, see, disagreements have been there in Indian cricket or world cricket or any kind of sports for the eternity. But now things are coming out in public much frequently than it used to. Like for example, yesterday's meeting, the news is out today. The news, in fact, was out yesterday, last evening only. That why there was delay. So the leaks are becoming pretty frequent nowadays, which was not the case. Like had the disagreement happened in a meeting, it would come out 2 days, 3 days, 1 week later. Earlier, in earlier days, that there was this sort of disagreements in that meeting which happened 1 week before. But now things are coming out more frequently. It is coming out as instant as it can. Within a few minutes, within a couple of hours, things are out in public. So that is something which I think the BCCI should keep a check. For us, I think it's golden time to be a reporter. You don't need
So
to dial many numbers to get things out. If you know people, then you will get your things, the information you need pretty quickly in today's time. So good time for us, but I don't think it's great time for Indian cricket, given the leaks are pretty much frequent.
in fact, it takes us back to 2007 and the Great Chapel saga after India were crashed out
Yeah.
of the World Cup. So every day there was a story. This might happen. Great Chapel forced Sachin Tendulkar to bat at number 4. Sachin is absolutely livid with that sort of stuff. And then a lot of the day Greg Chappell was sacked, a lot of reporters who regularly covered Indian cricket and BCCI got a text message. Those were the days of text message. WhatsApp was not. I mean, WhatsApp didn't come that time. So those were the days of text message, and we all got that one-liner: Chapel sacked. One of the BCCI guys. So stuff like that. It takes us back to 2007. So, I mean, as Shubhan said, this is a good time to be a cricket reporter covering Indian cricket. But this is leaky glum time, and uh, I mean, if we can go back to Rohit's Friday and sleep yesterday, before unaware of the fact that the mic was turned on and his voice was recorded, he said, "आप तो एक डेढ़ घंटा बैठना पड़ेगा secretary के साथ," and he was speaking to Ajit Agarkar. So it sort of gave a feeling from a distance. It sort of gave a feeling that he has the dressing room, and which side is who is on which side. It's also sort of gave us an idea. And some hours before that, after that, Gautam Gambhir landed in Kolkata, a stony faced Gautam Gambhir. He was asked some questions at the airport,
Accompanied
and
by his manager, personal assistant or
accompanied by
manager.
his manager, given the 10-point diktat, called on, about the individual's entourage, accompanied by his manager. So you can assume everything. I mean, this is good time to be a reporter.
For sure. Bharat, but this is something I want to ask both Bharat and Shomik. From the outside, from a neutral perspective, don't look at it as a journalist, don't look at it as as a player or whatever. But as a fan, as someone, as a competitor or whatever, from a different team, from a different perspective, what does this say about Indian cricket?
Oh, see, are you asking on an overall basis? Something on those lines? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, not
Currently, I
don't
think,
look at it from a perspective of a journalist, but someone who's watching from the outside, a fan or a competitor, or let's say an England team is watching Indian team right now, and what does it look like for? Is
currently it seems like it's a bit of mess, the Indian cricket team, but I understand why it is happening. Because obviously India lost to Australia 1-3, then India also lost to New Zealand 0-3. So when you start losing, all these things come out from leaks to maybe some kind of infighting within the team or whatever it is. All these things come out when a team starts to lose. You can go back in time right down to Ashes 2013-14, when England were losing almost every test they went on to lose, and all kinds of things were coming out from the dressing room. Kevin Peterson to everything that is coming out from the dressing room. So something similar is happening to the Indian team. Just that there is no Kevin Peterson type of cricketer in the Indian team. In the sense, someone who's so disgruntled that it led to all kinds of controversies. But yes, Indian cricket is in a little bit of mess, I would say, in terms of on-field performances in Test cricket, and also in terms of leagues, or even in case of that document which came out. It's if I was a fan, I would start to think that whether they actually discussed anything related to cricket in that particular review meeting. That's from a fan's perspective, because I'm seeing chef, I'm seeing baggage, uh, I'm seeing all kinds of stories, all kinds of things written in that, but nothing related to cricket. As a fan, I would like to know. See, for example, about Jasprit Bumrah's workload, considering that he has already had three back issues. I would like to know something more about what you would like to do in terms of your batting lineup, because a couple of senior players are basically coming to the end of their STS careers. I would like to know something more about Shubman Gill's position, because obviously, especially outside Asia, has been struggling, and also about a fast bowling group. I mean, outside of Jasprit Bumrah, you have a lot of rookies. So, what exactly are you trying to do in terms of developing these fast bowlers? About India A tours in the future, even might be something like profiling all those fast bowlers, like based on their skills. For example, Akashdeep might have some other skill, Harshit Rana might have some other skill, or Prasidh Krishna might have some other skill. So, if you profile these fast bowlers, then perhaps you can select them based on the conditions. So all these things, as a fan, I would like to know. So yeah, in that sense, if I look at it from a fan's perspective, it feels like Indian cricket is in a mess, because they seem to talk about everything other than cricket, at least if you go as per the document.
Yeah, we have some questions here. Anit Sadhu is saying, like the point that we were mentioning, Gigi is traveling with his managers. Uh, players cannot travel with his team. Double standards. Battle would have been interesting if Rohit Sharma had age on his side and a strong players association. Mm, Shomik, you take this one.
A strong player association is never going to be a reality in India, in Indian cricket. Indian cricket is not set up that way. Unlike Australia or England or New Zealand, Indian cricket is not set up that way. Number one. Obviously, it's a very important factor. If Rohit was at his peak, then he would have called the shots. Absolutely. As because his career has entered the twilight zone. I mean, but then again, once again, Rohit mentioned that players are contacting him, not the coach. So clearly, he has the dressing room with him. Clearly, he has the dressing room with him. Number one. And see, at the end of the day, Rohit is a prima donna. Rohit is a big player in the sense Rohit has a big fan base. Not only that, Rohit has a big fan base, and Rohit, he is just, I mean, about 6 months ago, he won a World Cup. So everything combined in Indian cricket, if you are taking on big stars, big cricketers, eventually as a coach, you are going to lose. You are fighting a losing battle, because players are assets. And as I repeatedly said, a coach is not, unless he is an Alex Ferguson or a Pep Guardiola. I'm drifting to different sport also. I mean, a coach is not. Coach is always dispensable. So from that point of view, but once again, you are, first of all, as Rohit mentioned, those dictats, they haven't yet. I mean, they have been leaked to the media. In any case, the BCCI was never going to put that out on public platform. Those are meant for the players, and there is already some dilutions. In given that Ajit Agarkar said at the press conference yesterday, playing domestic cricket is not mandatory but advisable. He clearly said that. Rohit said that we need some time off given the grueling calendar. We need some time off. Uh, it is, and also suppose staying the entire duration of the training session. If a Virat Kohli or a Jasprit Bumrah walks up to the chief selector or the coach and says, I want to leave a little early, I have some work, will he say no? And these dictats have been there for donkey's years. Think in terms of the stay of the wives and girlfriends, which is under the, I mean, which has been the most talked about thing at the moment. It, BCCI changed it during the COVID-19 pandemic, when players were into the bubble and their families were allowed to be part of that bubble, considering the mental health aspect. Now it needed a big embarrassment to undo everything. And what, coming back to the leaks once again, Gagi, This is not limited to Indian cricket. It happens everywhere in every sport. You must be aware of that homework gate when Australia was under Mickey Arthur. Mickey Arthur was Australia coach, and it happened in India during an India tour. After the 2021 series defeat against India in Australia, a lot of Australian players openly revolted against Justin Langer. In England, we saw that Kevin Peterson saga. If we move to football, if every other day, every other day, leaks were coming from Old Trafford and Manchester United when the team had fallen into a rut. Now, after three results, those leaks have died down. So we have to wait for cricket to resume, India to win a few matches, and all those things once again would be brushed under the carpet.
Yeah, understandable. And a lot of now let's get to the team selection because there are still a lot of questions, lot of uproar on social media about this player being chosen over the other. Sanju Samson is one name, Karun Nair is the other, and of course there's this one debate going around everywhere of whether or not Shubman Gill deserved to be vice captain. But Shubhain, let's start with you. On the first impression, were you expecting Shubman Gill to be the vice captain? I think in some ways we were all expecting that, but at the same time, going forward, is consistency an issue? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
No, I do. I don't think there's any major surprise in Shubman Gill being named as the vice captain. He was the vice captain when India traveled to Sri Lanka for the white ball series in 24. And in ODI cricket, Shubman has been doing well. He averages 58 point something. He has been scoring runs. 2024 was a very good year for him, barring that Australia tour where things went haywire for him with the bat. Otherwise, it was a very good uh, year for Shubman Gill. He was the second highest run scorer after Yashasvi Jaiswal across formats. So he has been scoring runs in and in ODI format. I don't think the issue with Shubman Gill is in the ODI format. It's in the test format outside the Asian subcontinent is where he is struggling to score runs. So in ODI cricket, I think Shubman Gill and when you look at your next phase in terms of captaincy, in terms of brand, then I think a lot of things play come into the play. Where you see when Sachin retired, Virat came in. You saw that spark, you saw that face who can dominate world cricket, not in terms of runs, but in other aspects as well. Business deals, in how he is in front of the camera, because you are representing Indian cricket, the biggest cricketing brand in the world of cricket. So you have to have something extra in that regard. So Shubman has done well with the bat. Cricketing wise, he is a supreme talent. He has just not been able to score runs in Test cricket outside Asia. Test cricket is something which we have to keep separate right now because ODI is in our focus. And I said it somewhere yesterday, maybe in our Hindi live, that we are not far away from seeing three different captains for three different formats, at least for the time being, at least on a stopgap basis. Maybe in Test cricket, you will see either Bumrah or either Rishabh Pant leading the side in England. Maybe in T20 cricket, Surya Kumar Yadav is already leading the team, and he will continue to lead till the next World Cup at least. And then you have the ODI format where Shubman Gill clearly can be your next big face in terms of captaincy. You don't know about Rohit's future with this kind of fitness. I don't know about form. Form can again come back, but with this kind of fitness, will he be able to continue till the 27 World Cup? That's a call that the selectors, the coaching staff need to take, the top brass of BCCI need to take. But if they are somewhere in the future, if they are moving ahead away from Rohit Sharma, the ODI player, then I think Shubman Gill has to be there. There are many debates that from where Yashasvi will play. If Shubman is the vice captain, Yashasvi does not have a spot. Let's be honest. He has done really, really well for India in other formats, but right now in ODI format, Shubman has done nothing wrong to be dropped from that playing 11. So Shubman Rohit will continue to open, and Yashasvi will have to wait for his chance for the playing 11. Yashasvi can only take Rohit's spot right now. But that all depends on how his Champions Trophy goes, how Rohit's Champions Trophy goes. So Shubman's I think it's a good call. He has that leadership spark. He has been leading in the IPL as well. He's someone who can be your certainty in across formats, not only ODIs but across formats. If he keeps on piling up the runs, right now he's not in test format. He's not converting those starts, but certainly he has something which can give him that leverage of being the next India captain.
Yeah, I think you're right about Shubman Gill being, being seen in the leadership role ever since he was very very young. India under 19 vice captain, Duleep Trophy captaincy, and then of course in the IPL as well, we've seen him take up the leadership role. And now it's clear that the management backs him. KP here is asking, Shomik, you take this one because I know you have to leave. So Shubman Gill will be made ODI and Test captain after Champions Trophy, or BCCI is looking for three different captains for three different formats. Sky will be captain till 2026 T20 World Cup. Quite a lot of questions there. Three in one.
As Shubhan already said, maybe for the time being, we might see three different three different captains in three different formats. Given that Surya is already there, as far as T20 cricket is concerned, if unless there is an 11th hour change of heart, Bumrah, if he is fit, Bumrah will lead in India in the Test series against England. And Rohit's cricket international future totally depends on uh, how he performs at the Champions Trophy. If he is going to have a very good Champions Trophy, nobody can touch him as far as this 50-over format is concerned. And there would even be a possibility of him continuing until the next World Cup. But if he is a failure in the Champions Trophy, the clamor will increase, and I think then BCCI will have to act. See, there are two. I mean, it is, the same applies for Virat Kohli also. But Virat Kohli is a couple of years younger than Rohit Sharma, and on and off he's still scoring runs. Even in Australia, he scored a century. So on and off he is scoring runs. In the T20 World Cup final, he played a match-winning innings. So Virat Kohli, on big occasions, he still has been scoring runs. And also, with all due respect to Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli is a bigger brand than Rohit. I mean, he is Indian, arguably Indian cricket's biggest ever brand. I mean, we had Sachin Tendulkar also before that, MS Dhoni, but Sachin and Dhoni happened before the days of PR boom. Now, when you see Virat Kohli posting a picture of India winning, a picture of India winning the T20 World Cup, you will see someone like Vinicius Junior, who doesn't
Mm.
have an iota of information as far as cricket is concerned, he is liking that. That is, Virat has friends. I mean, in his friend circles, he has people like Harry Kane, Thomas Muller. So he is a huge brand. And as Bumrah also said, in part, that Virat Kohli doesn't need Indian cricket. He openly said that Virat Kohli doesn't need Indian cricket. Indian cricket needs Virat Kohli. So Virat Kohli might be given a bit longer rope, and very likely he will call. He will. He will decide things on his own terms. But Champions Trophy is a litmus test for Rohit Sharma. Absolutely. As regards Shubman Gill, vice captaincy, I said that this yesterday. It's about continuity. He was there as vice captain in Sri Lanka. So, and given he has a very, very good year in 2023, India plays just three ODIs in 2024. He has been doing fantastically well. We have to dehyphen a test cricket and 50-over cricket. So, there is nothing wrong with that. Just one thing I would sign off by saying one thing about one inconsistency from our fans' point of view. I totally understand the cricketing logic of it, of not picking Sanju Samson and not picking Sanju Samson and not ignoring Karun Nair. Those are the major points of debate. I saw that on social media yesterday. There is a bit inconsistency because selectors are saying that as because you didn't play in case of Sanju Samson, As because you didn't play Vijay Hazare Trophy, we didn't consider you. Number one. At the same time, they are saying, although you are averaging 700 plus in domestic cricket, we are not considering you. That's related to Karun Nair. So this is the inconsistency. Although I clearly understand the cricketing logic, when you have KL Rahul and Rishabh Pant, you cannot have three wicketkeeper batsmen, and you cannot drop either KL Rahul or Rishabh Pant. And India's middle order picks itself. So Karun Nair didn't have a place. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
Bharat, we
Gargi,
haven't. Yeah.
Gargi, I will take
Yes,
your
yes.
leave because I have. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
will join for 5 p.m. live.
For
Cool,
sure.
cool, cool.
Uh, last,
Thank you.
I think, 15 minutes on the show. So if you have any questions, guys, everyone who's watching, do send us in and we'll try to take as many as possible. But Bharat, I don't think we've gotten your opinion on Shubman Gill as vice captain before we head to the debate of Karun Nair, of Sanju Samson, and Rishabh Pant over Sanju Samson. Come on. Yes, Bharat.
Yeah, I wrote an entire copy on it, so one can go and read it. Anyway, Shubman Gill, see,
We need the
uh,
audio.
yeah, Shubman Gill, see, again, yesterday also I noted a little bit about that. He's averaging about 58.2 in ODI cricket. So when it comes to ODI cricket, I don't have any issue. Maybe people are mixing up the formats a little bit. Yes, if you are looking at Shubman Gill as a future all format captain, there could be a vexing question against it in the sense that outside of Asia is not performed that well in Test cricket. And yes, he struggled in Australia. That was in Test cricket, but in ODI cricket, I guess it is his best format. If you look at how he goes about his business in ODI cricket, he tries to get his eye in. Once he tries to get his eye in, he plays his shots. That basically suits him the best. Because even in T20 cricket, sometimes what happens is Shubman Gill, even from ball one, tries to force the pace and gets out. I don't think it is his basically his game. So he's very much a sure starter in ODI cricket. And even in Australia, one saw that he was trying to discuss plans with the bowlers. That's an indicator that Shubman Gill is at least pretty adept at dealing with that kind of a role. Obviously, it's a vice captain's role, not a captain's role, but you could see a little bit of leadership qualities during the test series in Australia, where he was discussing plans with the bowlers all the time. So yeah, I'm fine with the Shubman Gill as a vice captain for the Champions Trophy. Just that in the future there could be a vexing question if the selectors are looking at him as an all format captain because he has kind of struggled outside of Asia. So that could be a problem. But as far as ODI cricket is concerned, it was very much on because he also was the vice captain in Sri Lanka as well. So you expected the selectors to continue with it.
Yep. Shubhayan, a question for you here, Anik Day. Shubhayanda, no question on Hardik Pandya. Ignored him as captain from T20 and as vice captain from ODIs, just like he never existed. But they should not forget how Hardik Pandya batted in domestic and took some brilliant catches as well, and versus Bangladesh.
See, yeah, but that is the see whatever has happened with Hardik has been unfair. It has been unfair because he was if you go purely by numbers, he has done nothing wrong as India captain. Whenever Rohit was unavailable, he was the vice captain during the 2023 ODI World Cup as well. And suddenly after that injury, the injury happened when late October, early November, followed by a lengthy extended stay on sidelines, a period on sidelines, and the World Cup finished on November. uh, Hardik Pandya was announced as Mumbai Indians captain in December, if I'm not wrong. And after that, he was just removed from the India vice captaincy. So there's a sense of politics or the dark side of the Indian cricket at display as well. If you just put all the puzzles into places, you will see Hardik. The World Cup finished on in November 23. Hardik was announced as Mumbai Indians captains in December, followed by his removal or appointment of Surya Kumar Yadav as the next T20 captain. It all is in a synchronized manner. It has all done in a synchronized manner. So uh, it is very surprising why they are doing this with Hardik. Hardik was a he's and I keep on saying this. You will have a replacement for Rohit Sharma. You will have a replacement for KL Rahul. You will have a replacement for Virat Kohli somewhere in Indian cricket. But for Hardik Pandya right now, you don't have anyone who can play, who can be your aggressor down the order and can bowl 140 plus with the ball. You don't have that sort of replacement. Performance wise, he has delivered everywhere he has played. He started the World Cup 23 ODI World Cup on a great note. Unfortunate that he got injured. In the T20 World Cup, he was one of your MVPs, if not the biggest player. After, I think, after Jasprit Bumrah and Akshar Patel, Hardik Pandya was your player who delivered in different circumstances with the bat, with the ball on the field. And he has been regularly playing domestic cricket as well, as you asked from him. So he has done nothing wrong to be completely ignored, and this is something which all the fans who think that there's unfairness on this decision should question the selectors, the BCCI, by just up, creating an uproar on social media. That's how things work nowadays.
Asim Hans has a harsh question here. Make domestic cricket mandatory and then exclude Karun Nair, who has performed in the same. Rohit, no rest. Kohli, neck injury. Have already found, but Rohit is playing on the 23rd. Uh,
Rohit is playing.
Rohit is playing
Rahul is not
against
playing.
Kashmir. Yeah. What a shame, death of meritocracy. Bharat already
Oh, what
smiling.
is this? Champions Trophy squad. I guess yesterday itself I said, where is the place for someone like Karun Nair? Maybe you could have got into reserves or something on those lines because India's ODI lineup is pretty settled. Except that if someone says the test lineup is not exactly settled, but the ODI lineup is pretty much settled if you look at the top six. Even if you look at the entire squad, where will Karun Nair get into? That's, I think, the main factor. So, if from Karuna's perspective, maybe is looking at the test setup, obviously the England tour, as the one where he can somehow find a place because there are holes in that particular batting lineup. But as far as Warder lineup is concerned, there is no real place for him. Maybe somewhere in the future, this is an aging ODI side, so there a couple of places could open up in the future if he keeps performing. And another thing, obviously, this also I've noted India have to also improve the standards of domestic cricket, which might help the selectors to gauge the game of a particular player. It happened with Abhimanyu Iswaran. Yeah, great respect to him. He scored plenty of runs. He scored plenty of runs in domestic cricket. They took him to Australia, and in that series against Australia A, India A versus Australia A, he had two games, and he was struggling against Buckingham and O'Neill, and these two bowlers were bowling at 130 or 135 kilometers per hour. They were rushing him. So at least if I were see, I'm looking at it in a holistic way. So if I was the selector looking at this particular player struggling against a 130 kilometer per hour bowler, I won't necessarily get that confidence. So maybe that also tells something that the standards of domestic cricket could be improved in certain ways. Again, I'm looking at it in a holistic manner because Karun Nair has performed incredibly well. Unfortunately, I don't think there is any place in the ODI squad at present. So look at the test side. Maybe during the England tour, somehow we will get into that test squad.
Lots of questions there. Um, Sanju Samson. There we go. Rudra is saying Sanju Samson ignored because he didn't play Vijay Hazare even though he is in blistering form. Jaiswal gets picked because he is in blistering form, but he doesn't need to play domestic. Double standards. Shuvan?
Uh See, we still don't know that Sanju Samson was not picked because he did not play Vijay Hazare Trophy. No one, either either Agarkar or Rohit said anything like this in the press conference yesterday. Uh, This clearly you can't. He Rohit did say that you can't please anyone, you can't pick everyone in the 15. So Sanju right now has to be the unfortunate one to miss out of this selection thing. Yes, there was a major debate on Sanju Samson and Rishabh Pant as well. Although Rishabh got picked, but Sanju, again, it is like the Hardik Pandya situation as well. Right now, that something which is unfair, and you really can't point fingers on it, because Rishabh in white ball cricket has struggled, to be honest. In ODI format, his range of shots has not come out well. When this field is spread, he struggles to get going. So his strike rotation is up under the scanner as well. But Sanju has been in form. He has scored centuries. He has scored runs for India. Up top in the middle order, he has done it all. Jaiswal gets picked because he's in blistering form, but he does not need to play domestic double standard. Jaiswal is part of Jaiswal. He's playing domestic cricket. He will be seen with the Mumbai team on 23rd against Jammu Kashmir. And Jaiswal is someone who has always played domestic cricket. He has always been part of the Mumbai team. He got into the Indian team because of his numbers for Mumbai and rest of the India team. He has scored some major runs in for Mumbai and for rest of the India team in other tournaments. So just to do some background check before questioning, but you can't really say that Sanju was not picked because he did not play Vijay Trophy. Right now, you can't remove a KL Rahul who averages 57 as a wicketkeeper batter for at number 5. Yes, you can question Rishabh's form, but we still don't know whether Rishabh is going to be the primary wicketkeeper in the Champions Trophy. I think KL Rahul is going to start.
Yeah. Muthu is asking if Gill doesn't perform in England series, what will happen? Will Jaiswal play? Bharat, towards you, directing this towards you.
Question was asked to him. So
It's okay. I am sure Shubman doesn't mind.
uh, what will happen? Will Jaiswal play? In England Test series, see, obviously that's a huge question mark over Shubman Gill outside of Asia. So that's in Test cricket. Oh, is thinking about the ODI cricket. Okay, I was thinking about the Test cricket there. Yeah, but I think they will continue Shubman Gill. So the simple point is in ODI cricket, as I've already noted, he averages 58 in ODI. So it's very difficult to drop a player on the basis of 2 3 games. So you expect the Indian team to give him a long rope. Maybe if he fails in the Champions Trophy as well over 3 4 games, then he will come under some kind of scrutiny. But otherwise, it's very difficult. A couple of pieces also have written on it. And even the first piece that I've written, I understand why people are clamoring for the inclusion of Jaiswal because he's in top form. He's a left-hand batter. It's a wide range of shots, everything accepted. But the thing is, Shubman Gill also has been performing exceptionally well in ODI cricket over a period of time. Maybe one series in Sri Lanka I didn't do that well, but you have to give someone who has done so well in ODIs a long run. So expect him to play in the Champions Trophy right through the Champions Trophy. He's now the vice captain as well. And then if he fails in the Champions Trophy, maybe there would be some kind of pressure on Gill because Jaiswal obviously is a worthy candidate in one day arena, which we have seen right from the time when he got the double hundred in list A cricket in 2019 October. From that time, he has been a very good performer in list A cricket as well. But for the time being, Shubman Gill definitely will get a long rope.
Yeah. Let's take a final few comments. What is Deba and Banerjee saying? CT squad balanced. CT squad is balanced. Gill too early for vice captaincy. Siraj subpar from now. Blows hot and cold. Aksar and Jadeja same skill set. One slot wasted. Lots of opinions here. Shubhayan, pick anyone.
But Siraj is not there.
Siraj is
This
not
is,
there. Siraj is not there, so
Siraj
why
is not there,
questioning him?
exactly.
Akshar and
Vishnu,
Jadeja, same skill set. We see it from our eyes and think that they have similar skill sets, but they are very different bowlers. Jadeja is more Akshar you depends on his undercutters and angles. Jadeja is more of a defensive, hit the length, hit the line, keep on doing the same thing, and just if the pitch is assisting him, then well and good. But they are not. the skill sets are very different when it comes to Akshar and Jadeja. Akshar uses his angles a lot more than Jadeja does. And the pace of the ball as well. Jadeja fires it. Akshar knows when to and how to tweak his pace of the ball. So different skill sets. And I don't think both of them will play in the playing 11. It will be either Akshar, most likely Akshar along with Washington Sundar and Kuldeep Yadav. So I don't think I am not seeing Jadeja play a big role in Champions Trophy in terms of playing 11. Gill too early for vice captain. He has been around in Indian cricket for 5 6 years now, 4 5 years now. So how early is too early? He has played a lot of test matches, two WTC cycles, three WTC cycles now, and has been part of the World Cup squad, Asia Cup squad. He has seen it all. So when South Africa appoint Graeme Smith as one of the youngest captain, we all praise. Oh, see how forward thinking they are. But when we try to do the same thing, you'd say, it's too early. He's too young. He has not done anything. So give him some time. At least let him lead the side first before questioning why he has been appointed vice captain captaincy. People have seen something in him. That's why he has been labeled as your India vice captain.
Well, should I point to it
Sure.
in terms of the different skill sets? See, the main point is, I guess Akshar Patel comes from wide of the crease. So when he comes from wide of the crease, the angles there itself will be slightly different. Jadeja is someone who comes a little more close to the stumps, and Akshar Patel is a round armish section, and Jadeja obviously comes more from old school type, and is someone who seam presentation is always good, and Akshar Patel's seam presentation isn't always good. So what happens, as he said, I bowls a little bit of this undercutters or the scrambled seam, as some tell. Maybe that acts as an added advantage, or what can we say, a variety to Akshar. It brings variety to Akshar Patel's bowling. But I think that's the main difference, that Akshar Patel bowls from wide of the crease and round arm action. Jadeja more of high arm action, quite close to the stumps there itself. The angles will be slightly different when it comes to these two.
Yeah, with that, I think we can end this show. We'll be back at 5. There'll be a lot of updates from the Eden Gardens. Shubhain will be there giving us all the updates from the practice sessions. So don't forget to join us at 5 and stay tuned to Rev Sports. Thank you so much for joining.